correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
Welcome to Me and Steve Talk RPGs, a podcast where me and my friend Steve...
We're playing games this time.
Shall we do the quick and dirty version?
Yeah.
So, we found a god.
Just
who turns
casually,
out-
all right.
Well, no. She had been ambushed. Who's also my former mentor. Oaken is now the owner of the tavern, even though he didn't know it until it happened. And the god is an official guest of the tavern, but now we're going to meet the head of the Wayne people, who, by the way, are pretty much all wear capybaras.
Where capybaras?
Yes.
Where capybaras? Thought you'd
All
never
right,
hear that.
all right.
Yeah. So
I'll
Terry,
follow that.
originally you were supposed to be the tavern owner, but spoiler, you didn't show up for 2 sessions, so we had
That's
to
fine.
pivot. So we'll have to retweak your backstory if you want. Or you could be the bartender, but Oaken is the owner.
Oh, no worries.
And these
It sucks, but it happens. I understand. the
No.
need
Oh, and
for
the bar is called The Way
winning.
Between. The name got changed.
Yeah, great
But, yeah.
name.
Okay, that sounds way cooler than mine, though.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of the manifesto of the bar? Reginald.
Yes. That is the personality that is the bar.
he's basically
Reginald?
Yes.
he's essentially sounds like Paul Bettany.
I'm not
Alright.
that cool, but yes. Well, the idea is it's an intellectus, so it's like the bar is magically powerful enough that it has like a manifestation awareness of itself. So it is
Okay.
very much like the AI in the Iron Man suit,
Jarvis.
or Friday, depending on where
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah, depending on where you are on the timeline. Pre-vision or post-vision.
So I'm trying to find where I have my stuff.
And I have a sword mop.
Yes,
You have
he
a
has a
sword
sword.
mop? A smop?
Yep.
Pretty
love it.
much.
My flaming sword keeps turning into a mop because that's what Reginald wants it to be, because it's more useful, and he forgets that he's a sword.
He
Pretty
just
much.
forgets he's a sword.
You know, here's my real question though. You are no longer in the tavern, so what appearance is it stuck in?
Mop.
It's in mop mode.
Love it.
So you're just
'cause it's
carrying them off.
Pretty much, because it's in the tavern that it's able to transform.
Yeah. I'm
Alright.
not used to it not being a sword, and he's not used to not being a mop, so.
Love it. So you guys are in a carriage drawn by horses. And it's one of those fancy kind of enclosed. It's probably the only one of these in town, because they also run the stagecoach along with the rail line. And I think that you're probably taking this moment to kind of catch Norman up on what's going on. So you guys are in this carriage. You've just left the cemetery. The where capybara are outside. You have a moment of basically privacy if you want to try to discuss our plan at all.
Right, so what's Norman, right? Terry?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so Norman, well, by way of quickly getting you up to speed, it would appear somewhere there is something trying to take over all of these taverns that are, shall we call it, loosely affiliated but independent. However, it appears that there is some force trying to and consolidate them for some reason. This appears, based on the information we received from Hecate, that, well, this is independent of the conflict with Wayne Enterprises, which per the lady herself, they were apparently attempting to capture her, and she defended herself, which is what caused the initial altercation, shall we say.
Just as a catch up for you, Terry, we got called to the mines basically, and there was a massacre in the mines of Wayne Enterprises folks. And Hecate was there, and she had dispatched pretty much all of them except for one or two that were somewhat alive for us to get some kind of information out of, I think.
One had made their way back to the bar. What we found was, interstate hamburger, basically.
That's dark. Fair.
I don't know, if you all get that, what gets roadkill down there a lot, but I know up here we get whitetail quite often.
Armadillo down here. You see a lot of armadillo.
I actually, in the 2 times I've been there, now granted I was only in Plano, but I did not see one at all.
Yeah, it kind of depends on... Aren't they nocturnal? I believe that they're nocturnal creatures. So you wouldn't see them during the day.
Yeah. Are they urban averse, or are they more like, say, raccoons?
I've seen them in the... I'd say definitely more urban adverse, because the only times I've seen them are in the roadways between cities or towns or some such. So I mean, I could be wrong, but from what I've observed, I haven't really seen them ever in the cities, ever.
That's what you should have had them been. Where armadillos?
Where armadillos?
Armadillos.
Where Madillas? That doesn't sound right. That sounds like it could be wrong. It could be misheard real bad.
Giant were pangolins.
Perfect.
What's the matter, Ben? You have this look on your face of like, these people are whipping out critters I ain't ever heard of.
No, all right. This is our celebration in gaming with you, Steve. So I'm just letting you guide the ship.
Right.
And I know we're going to go nowhere slowly, and I'm just enjoying every second of it.
Oh, also, what are the circles next to charm, cool, sharp, tough, and weird? What is that?
That is your modifier for your stats.
Oh.
Those are relatively important.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to roll those up, I believe, actually.
Nope, you just pick them. Go to the next page.
You just picked them?
Yeah, go to the next page and you assign. Rankings, pick one line.
Wait, hold on. Oh, rankings, pick one. Oh! Okay, so I already picked that. Okay.
So you take those stats and you put the plus or minus in those circles.
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you so much.
Character creation, this is nice and easy.
Yeah.
So you guys arrive at the Wayne Enterprises compound, and you are disgorged in front of a manor house that's a newer build, but it's where the foreman resides for this complex. You are escorted into a sitting room where there is tea and little vegetable plates set out, and you are basically escorted in by one of the individuals in Wayne uniform. You will wait in here if you will, please. They shall be in here in just a moment to discuss further.
Very well.
May I offer any other accommodations at this time?
Yeah, don't lock the door.
I don't even know if we have locks on these doors. For who would be fool enough to fool with the Wayne Enterprises? But, and they're gonna jiggle the door to make sure it's not locked. And it's unlocked, as I said. With that, I thank you. We will be waiting to transport you back after your meeting. And they are gonna step out. Looking around the room, it's this very ornate, think of like a Jane Austen kind of room, windows, tables, sofas. It's very much set up for hosting guests.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like a formal seeing room, so to speak.
Exactly. You know, but it's set up not just from like a social perspective, it's also very much set up from a kind of like you get the sense that this is both a place that they would entertain socially, but also business meetings happen in this space as well.
Mm-hmm. I almost feel like this is one of those ones where you have a lot of houses from that era that had the big, like, supersized bay section of those rooms where, like, it was like a half octagon on one side, and so like there's this big arched wall with windows and
Yeah, totally. And it's meant to let in a lot of light. It's meant to be very visually stunning, but also very much serve a functionality perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if we should wait for
He's not
Hagen.
coming back.
He's not.
Out of game chat. He's not feeling well.
Okay.
I missed that. Thank you for that. Okay. So, after a little bit of time passes, a regal, seems to be older female walks in, very like back in this time. It's kind of like that petticoat type outfit where it's a very practical kind of dress, almost pants in nature, and is flanked by two very clearly younger individuals. And she strides into the room, heels banging on the floor, very purposeful. And she comes in, she looks around the room, and focuses on Oaken. You promised us that we would find out what has happened to my employees, and it has been over a day. I hope you have answers for me. Oaken.
Yes. Your associates have meddled with powers that they are unaware of, or shouldn't have.
That does not justify their brutal demise. You promised you would handle this.
Oh, I am. I have.
Then I expect the guilty party to pay reparations for what they have done.
They already have with their lives.
You are saying that you have murdered the person responsible for the death of my people?
No, your people have already paid the price for the powers that they meddled with.
Grows visibly angry. Skin kind of, you see almost like the hair kind of starts shifting.
I'm sorry, madam. Excuse me. I'm call me Norman Manson. Hello. I'm so terribly sorry. It seems I'm tardy to the party as usual. I will say that I do hope that we can find an understanding and really appreciate the work that will be done to make sure you're satisfied. You seem a person of importance. I would hate to make you upset in any way. Excuse my compatriot.
My family
There's no
members
excuse needed for
have
me,
been
Norman.
murdered.
No, not murdered.
Man,
I do not have
Call
enough parts of some of them to bury them properly.
So call them killed in the line of duty.
And I would like to know, as the person who promised to find and bring to justice, what
As I said, justice has been served.
So you are implying that my employees are the ones at fault.
ma'am,
That
if
is
I
correct.
might ask you a
Are-
question.
You are seeking to make an enemy of Wayne Enterprises?
No, I'm seeking to speak the truth, ma'am.
So you're not entirely telling the truth.
I am not telling a lie.
So Hecate was justified in murdering all these people?
She wasn't murdering, she was defending herself. That's the story that I got and that I understand.
Yeah, because did you investigate?
Yeah. We did, actually.
you talked to the defendant who said, I'm innocent, they are guilty, therefore that's the truth.
I mean, me being a divine being, I tend to believe the gods over the not gods. So
Where capoeira, whatever they are not human either.
they're not human, but they're not gods either.
Ma'am, if I might, can I ask a question?
Only if it's not condescending.
Well then, What exactly is it that your employees are doing attempting to capture a goddess?
They are not trying to what goddess? We don't I don't know anything about a goddess.
Well, that is what my friend here is trying to get to. It would seem, based on what we found out in the course of our investigation, that a goddess was being pursued, happened upon that particular section of the mine or the caves, and was promptly assaulted by your employees and simply defended herself because she felt threatened.
Right, a god, quote unquote, felt threatened by some of my staff. This doesn't seem to be adding up.
Perhaps
Also-
we need a better math lesson.
Gods? So your god is mortal and can be killed by simple employees?
Well,
What kind of god is that? And they were running from something, so you're saying that they came in aggressive, and my employees, who are clearly on Wayne Enterprise territory, in a manner, protecting our wares, had a random person show up that was in an aggressive flight from someone, and you are telling me that my people are at fault for this?
I'm
How
not
stupid
saying
are you guys?
I'm not saying that
You
your
just
people
did.
are wholly at fault. However, I do know the other party involved. I have dealt with them before. And for your information, there are many god-level beings in this world of various power levels.
Then I find it very hard to believe that my family would have any capacity to threaten, challenge, or harm one such being. So I would again question how they are the ones at fault. And I suggest, and at this point is starting to
Nice.
shift into their form, I suggest you answer very intelligently at this point.
Can I charm the roll to manipulate to kind of de-escalate the situation? Do you want me to
100%.
say what I'm going to say first?
Yep.
Okay. Nah, I'm sorry to say, Miss Ma'am, sir, that my colleagues and I, we were just trying to stress that, unfortunately, what has happened here currently is, it's a clashing of two very powerful beings. You know what I'm saying? You know, you being one powerful entity and the other being another powerful entity and all that such and so forth. And we're not trying to pass blame on nobody, but just saying that they unfortunately had their reasons for attacking your place, and we can investigate it thoroughly because we have dealt with them before and ascertained why on God's green earth here did they attack you. That just doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem profitable for all involved, you know. And so we would do our best to truly get to the bottom of it and find out what really was going on here.
Go ahead and make me a roll.
All right, what do I roll?
2d6.
2d6, awesome.
Plus charm, right?
2d6 plus 2 then. 8.
Barely a success.
That's perfect. That is exactly what I wanted.
All right.
Just skimming by.
Does anybody have the cheat sheets pulled up real quick, or?
What are you looking for?
Well, he just did a manipulate someone, so there should have the.
7 to 9, they'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show that you mean it. If you ask too much, they'll tell you what, if anything, it would take for them to do it.
I'm just trying to get them to calm down and understand that we're not trying to cause any problems, and we're just here to solve problems. You know?
Your party members thus far have basically said, "You suck. We like this other person more. It's tough that your people are dead."
Yep.
So I'm willing to entertain a PR spin.
Shit.
So how are you? What? Because what you just said you want to do is the exact opposite of what's happened. So can you give me a different approach, maybe?
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, Oaken's not supposed to be the talker of the group, just to be clear.
Nor is Marcus, really.
Yeah. And the only reason I didn't speak up because I didn't know shit about it. It's like even with the summary, I didn't quite.
You're fine.
I'm not super great at charm or sharp, so my
Uh,
response as such.
I got pluses in both of those. I'm trying to think of how I can spin this into a positive. Spin this into something a little more.
Okay. Here, just
favorable.
improv with me then. This is not the first invasion from the dimensions, and this is not going to be the last. My people will not just roll over because you say some god came through and that gave them the right to murder my people.
Oh no, certainly not.
I am not going to lose more people to these dimensional forces. Wayne Enterprises will not be threatened.
No. And that's why
use
we
the word
need to
murder. Murder is the wrong word. They fell in battle, which is honorable. Some of them may have even already made it to Valhalla.
Your hokey religions do not bring back our loved ones.
No, but they are in a better place.
And
As
I believe
I was saying, I was part of the peacekeeping corps back in the day. And you see, back then, when we found trouble and strife, see, what we did was we breathed, took a few breaths, understood that what we were trying to do is trying to communicate with each other and find common ground. Now, unfortunately, y'all don't seem to be sharing political beliefs or religious beliefs and all that, and that's fine and oak and dandy. Besides our strong belief friends over here, I do want to say I'm sorry, bosses of your people, because that's just a terrible loss to go through the hiring process. So people you really trusted to get the job done. It's a horrible shame, honest to goodness. And we would be remiss if we didn't investigate properly.
I appreciate you acknowledging our losses, especially and glares at Oaken when one of your numbers promised my people that they would look into this and find justice for.
I'm coming in here late. I do apologize.
No.
You know, I just got picked up on the ride here. It got explained the situation just on casual like. I do apologize.
It's nice to finally feel like I have someone I can converse with.
And
Yes.
I just didn't know that y'all had already promised to investigate. And
Yeah.
that just seems a shame. We should
On two occasions, Oaken swore up and down that they would look into this and find justice.
Well, now that I'm on the case, what I can do is I can verify personally that we will look into it. And you can come find me at the dog shack down the road. That's where I usually hang if you need my correspondence.
Ma'am, if I may, perhaps we did get off a bit on the wrong foot here. But being as you are of the nature that you and your family are you at all familiar with the taverns, as we call them, or as they are called?
I am aware of our tavern in town.
Okay. So, what I would like a little bit here, what am I getting a read that she is being forthright in that statement, and that she appears to be...
Make me a read a dangerous situation roll.
Okay. That's kind of what I was going for, I believe.
That's a pretty sharp roll you got.
Yep.
Don't cut yourself on that roll, because it's so sharp.
13.
Oh, very successful. You get the sense that she has no idea. you get the sense that when she says that they've been under attack by, or they've had other dimensional intrusions, you get the sense that she's actually a little more hostile because of something more than just this one event.
Okay. So let me ask you, as the keeper or whatever the heck your title is in this game, do you want me
Call me
to
God. Okay.
monologue this out, or do you want me to kind of montage it?
What would you enjoy most?
I mean, I'll go through. I'll try and keep it brief for purposes of advancing the story. How's that?
No, have fun.
So, ma'am, here's the thing that apparently you are unaware of, and let me ask you also. Your other encounters with these otherworldly beings, have they also happened around towns with a seemingly peculiar tavern or at least a significant tavern in them?
I don't know what you're talking about. So, Steve, remember that this particular tavern was dormant before Wayne Enterprises came through.
Right. So, well, I cannot tell for certain. And I myself was unaware of the nature of our tavern until, well, actually last night. However, through some research I have done and some other things I'm reading and such, it would appear that there are a number of taverns throughout the world which serve as, shall we say, sanctuary and waypoints and almost guard houses, if you will, both for those of non-human origins and those of us who are from here in the normal world. Now, essentially, the taverns protect them from us and us from them in a manner of, shall we say, to let cooler heads prevail and provide a place of understanding. Now, it has come to my attention that some of these places appear to be under attack from yet another force. So my suspicion, perhaps, is that you have encountered others attempting to manipulate this system in the past, and
we have recently started expanding our transportation network beyond this reality. The most common term people are using is dimensional travel. And you're right, we have encountered, let's say, an aggressive business plan that is injured many of my people.
So, I would put forth that perhaps whatever this aggressive plan you encountered was what was pursuing the being that unfortunately happened upon your employees. And frankly, my condolences as to what did happen to them because, well, it should not have happened, but it was a misunderstanding. And given what you have indicated may have happened in the past, I'm sure you can understand that someone also dealing with such entities might be a bit on edge.
She's going to kind of look contemplative and is going to kind of stride up and down the room. I am understanding you to say that we may share a common enemy, though the most recent deaths of my people were not at their hands directly, but were unfortunate consequences.
That would be
That's
a good
about the
way to
long
put that.
short of it.
If you were able to resolve our business conflicts with this dimensional group, I think we could, with an appropriate introduction to this air quotes god that you're speaking of, I think we could find a way to move forwards amicably.
Well, I will look at the other two. Well, gentlemen, what,
Steve, just as a
assuming-
reminder, I'm female
I'm sorry. Yeah, I keep forgetting that because
because I'm a male. I understand.
well,
Bulk works.
providing everyone respects what, according to what I have learned, is the sanctuary of the tavern itself. I don't see why that couldn't happen.
I will remind the Wayne Enterprises that aggression will not be tolerated in the tavern, as I'm now the keeper of it. But it is free for a meeting place to try to resolve this issue.
They also have a wonderful shepherd's pie.
Whoa, bro. Like, out of character right now. I love a good shepherd's pie. Like, let's just be honest. Let's just have a moment just to acknowledge this. Though technically I like it with ground beef, which makes it something different.
Yeah, typically it's with lamb, right?
Yeah, but there's like another name
didn't
for
know
shepherd's
this.
pie with beef. But anyways, I'm a little hungry, so like that triggered me. But anyways, right. In that case, our common enemy is an organization that calls themselves ALI, which we believe stands for Asset Legacy Investments. And we have several of our family that have survived encounters with their members, though they are haunted by something. We're not sure what. And honestly, we don't have a recourse for their aggressive intrusions.
Well, then it would seem to me that perhaps we should speak with the one person in the region who has perhaps the most experience with this interdimensional reality.
Perhaps you could examine the people that have been injured so you can learn something, and then
I
perhaps
wouldn't
maybe
mind speaking to them if that would be all right.
and I think then perhaps we could have a summit, if you were, at the tavern.
Very well. I'm not a doctor per se, but I will gladly take a look at your people if you would like me to.
No, Steve, I'm trying to give you an opportunity to collect
I-
information.
I know I'm
Okay.
trying to respond as this
Got it.
wacky
Okay.
adventure.
wanna make
don't
sure.
worry. Back in the day when I was a part of the National Guard, I was part of the medic regiment.
Perfect. I forget what time of day it is right now. I think it was like mid-morning.
Yeah, mid to late morning, I believe.
So let's plan to meet over dinner at the tavern. That will give me time to collect additional information and for me to prepare for this meeting.
Very well. Would is that when you'd like me to examine your people as well?
You can do that right now.
Well, that will work.
Perfect. I will have them. I'll have one of my staff escort you to the infirmary. And at this point, she's kind of like converted back to being human, and she looks at each of you and says, except for and like glares at Oaken. I appreciate your time, and we shall meet later.
Oh,
and
the
then
pleasure's all mine. I do appreciate it, and you're listening and you're such.
And with that, she's going to brusquely walk out of the room, clearly on a mission.
Would seem that lady is
Doesn't have a grasp of the word justice.
well, also is a very singular purpose, I do believe.
I do reckon she's a bit of a troublemaker of some sort.
You guys are talking in front of her staff member that's there to escort you.
It's fine.
You'll keep this hush-hush between us, won't you, dearie?
Kind of like snarls at you a little bit. My mother cares deeply for those in our family.
As I said, she does appear to be of quite singular purpose.
Yes.
And
Yes,
she could be a
she-
whole lot of trouble if you let her. If she lets herself be trouble, she
May
can
I
cause a
escort
whole lot
you
of damage.
to the infirmary?
She's a strong, powerful woman.
Yes,
I
please.
prefer to get you off of Wayne Enterprise territory. It's going to take you to an infirmary. In 3 beds, you see 3 different staff members, all looking gaunt. 2 of them are in their were form. 1 is still human, but they kind of are staring at the ceiling, vacant eyes, pale, gaunt, looking and kind of twitching. Eyes are like kind of the spasmy. It's almost like they're having nightmares while they're awake.
All right. I'm gonna. Can I roll to investigate a mystery on
Yeah.
this? All
Yeah.
right.
So the way this system works is you describe narratively what you're doing, and then I tell you if you need to roll or not.
Okay.
But you can still roll, but I'm gonna tell you to still describe narratively what you're doing.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm thinking about going over and just giving them all, like, just paying close attention to them, seeing if any of them are responsive enough to talk.
Okay. Yep. None of
Uh,
them are responsive enough to talk.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? What the hell? Make a roll.
All right.
Maybe one of them is.
So it's sharp, right? Okay. 2d6 plus 1. 9.
Yeah. So you find one, and they're just like muttering under their breath. It's coming for us. It's gonna get. Oh, no, no, not no, no. And starts yelling, and then you hear it kind of restart over again. I must hide. Gotta get away. No, not no. Gotta get away. Gotta hide. Gotta find a way. And it's kind of like stuck on repeat.
All right.
Should they be put out of their misery? It sounds like they're living in a nightmare.
That's quite a bit of a stretch there. That's a pretty large leap there, I'd say.
Would you want to live in this state?
Well,
You're-
seeing as we don't even know if this state can be reversed by eliminating whatever thing that's caused this, I reckon we probably should stay put and hold off on elimination.
I would like to examine them, much as I did the initial body, just to see if there are, obvious wounds,
Yeah.
and what the nature of those wounds might be.
So real quick, Terry did roll a 9, so therefore is able to ask me a question also.
Oh, sweet.
But you can also roll.
Okay. Because I'm specifically though looking. Well, yeah, I said that. Also, a 9.
Is there something magical to his, like, repeating the same thing over and over, or is this just a dramatic memory?
Ooh. How would your character observe magic since you are playing the mundane?
I have a 0, so probably not very well.
So you've kind of created this backstory that your character is military. So.
He's just saying shit to get people to go with it.
Oh, okay. Well, your character has a military history. So I think you're recognizing.
Does he?
Yeah.
All right, I'll go with it.
I know. I'm committing. We are doing one session, bro. So, so I think you're recognizing that this person is kind of stuck in almost like a PTSD trauma loop, and you've seen people experience this after combat or major trauma, like in the field.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you have a sense of how to maybe break them out of the cycle, because given your history. So if you want to make a manipulate roll, you get +1.
Oh, okay. And I actually have. You said you looked like you wanted to say something, Steve.
Yeah, Steve wants to make a roll, so Steve's
Well,
gonna roll.
I did make a roll, but what you were leading into brought back a scene from a show that I would love to somehow participate in. But anyway,
Scene from a show?
Did you ever see the episode of MASH
Yes.
where they have the guy? I think the psychologist is there talking with him, and they're making the battlefield sounds.
Oh yeah, like behind the dude. Yeah.
That's when you were saying that. That's what popped into my head.
Got it. Do you have any weird?
Yes, I am +2 weird.
I meant your character, Steve. We know you're weird. So go ahead and make your roll, Steve. But I would love you guys to talk about how you magically might be able to support a social intervention for someone that's clearly been magically, psychically assaulted.
I have a magic sword / mop that I could intervene with.
You gonna slap
So-
him with that?
Just slap him with the broad end.
So, all right. So I think magically, I think perhaps trying to do something to read a bit of like the surface thought that's going on there, because obviously it's very powerful because it just keeps looping, and then somehow create like extend that in an auditory or sensational manner such that we can break past the skip.
Yeah, so I think what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to kind of like project yourselves into the loop this
Yeah.
person's stuck in, or project anyways, what's your character? Norman into this loop that the person is in. Cool. All right. Go ahead and make me just, this is technically a magic roll, but that's basically just a weird roll.
Right.
This reminds me of the part in Dark City where Kiefer Sutherland injects the memories into John.
So I got a total of a 10.
Yeah, okay. So what does this look like as you are focusing, as Marcus is psychically projecting his friend into this say the word
So-
for me.
We're
Capybara?
Capybara's kind of like trauma psyche moment.
So I think Norman has kind of over next to this bed and has like in trying to talk to this individual has like placed a hand on them, and Marcus comes up behind him and places both hands on his shoulders, and you see Norman kind of almost like shudder, tense up, and then almost without falling, like his body almost goes slack. Like you see almost maybe like some sort of energy transfer through from Marcus through Norman into the individual on the bed.
Love it. So since you didn't actually tell Norman that you were doing this, Norman, you kind of like stumble and then you look around, and because a 10 was rolled, you are able to see a nebulous kind of phantom creature, and you get this, and you're kind of like standing outside looking in at what's happening, and you almost see like this creature is created this like sphere that the individual is stuck within, and it's almost like the creature, it has like puppets. You see energy kind of coming from the creature down to figures within the sphere that are what are tormenting this individual.
Can I pull out my pocket knife and just kind of snap at all the strings?
You are more than welcome to try that.
By the way, technically it's an 11 because I have a +1 with magic from my Mystic Library. Not
Love
that it
it
makes a difference in
even
mechanical, but
more.
All right
Um,
then.
So that's gonna be kick some ass.
Oh,
or what did I?
hold on.
Yeah,
What
so
could go wrong? Whenever you charge into immediate danger without hedging your bets, hold 2. You may spend your hold to inflict 1 harm, reduce someone's harm suffered by 1, take +2 forward on an act under pressure roll. Because this would be directly interfering with the monster, right? So this would potentially
Oh.
be dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah. So that actually fits pretty well.
Love it. And you
I'm
took
gonna
this
go
thing?
ahead and I'm using that move. Whenever you charge into
Your
immediate danger.
character has to. You usually choose some of the moves. You don't get all of the moves. So I don't know if you chose.
Oh yeah, no. You get all the basic moves plus pick 3 mundane moves.
Okay, so this is one of the 3 you chose.
Yeah, of the 3 I
Perfect.
choose, I had
Love it.
Power Part,
Well-
Trust Me, and What Could Go Wrong.
Love it.
Mhm.
Let's make this roll, and I'm really
Alright.
hoping you succeed.
What could
It
go wrong
would
is
be a
perfect
tough
for this
roll,
whole
right?
situation.
This what can go wrong is the perfect.
What could go wrong? What could go right? And I'm rolling tough though, right? Or is it something else?
Tough?
Actually,
you could make
wait.
an argument for weird. I will let.
Could I first read a bad situation first to get the? Well, but that would be hedging my bets, wouldn't it?
No, I kind of told you what's going on. You don't need
Yeah.
to, because the roll was so good. You're kind of been put into an observer place, so you're witnessing like what's happening instead of you
Okay.
getting like, because originally you were gonna go into the nightmare that the guy is in, and so you weren't gonna have this perspective that there's this like puppet master creature doing this.
Okay. Although, I guess, before I act, I do watch out the scene play out just to see what happened and get some detail. Is that something I can do first before I make an action? Because I realize that's something.
Sure, but I just described to you everything that's going on. So
Oh, yeah.
what other details are you hoping to get?
Just understanding of like how it went about attacking people if he saw that or whatnot. If there's anything.
So remember,
Anything
there's the
pertinent.
puppet master outside of kind of this nightmare bubble that
Yeah.
the person you're trying to save is within.
Oh yeah, but I can still see inside the bubble, right?
You can, yeah, but
Yeah,
the
so I
person
can
in the
still
bubble
observe.
can't see out.
But I can still observe inside of it and see what he experienced firsthand to get a better grasp of what he went through. Right?
Sure, if you want to let him continue being tortured, you
only
can take all the time.
only one go through, only one repetition,
Okay.
so I can actually see it.
Okay.
So I know firsthand exactly the kind of horror this poor soul witnessed.
Okay.
Just so I can empathize with him after he's been freed of control. You know.
And,
Okay.
and I'm the monster for wanting to put him out of his misery.
All right. Well, there's a grander purpose for this. It's not intentional.
Also,
cruelty.
Oaken wouldn't, right? Because these people aren't going to die in battle.
No.
So these are needless deaths.
But yeah, no. So like, as far as what do I observe? How do I observe him getting attacked?
I don't care about any of that. You're going to make it up later when you're talking.
Sound good. So I do need to roll a 2d6 plus 1 for the attack, right?
Yeah.
All right, and that's sharp using my pocket knife, or multi-tool. 7. That probably doesn't succeed, does it?
6 or higher, so you just barely succeed.
Oh God, it's angry at me.
Yes. So, as you move in to try to sever some of these energetic bonds, you suddenly feel the weight of this creature focus on you.
Oh, that's not too good.
And you feel yourself starting to fall back into one of your own trauma events in your past. However, at this moment, Marcus, you feel an intrusion, an energetic force that seems to be trying to disrupt your bond. How would Marcus, or I guess, I don't know if Oaken is going to be aware of this either. You can tell me, how would you guys help your friend rebuff this psychic assault?
So, do I feel I'm being assaulted here, or that Norman is?
Up to you.
I almost feel like I'm the one providing the power.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like maybe I attract the attention of whatever it is.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be able to cut the bindings without your magic putting me in there.
So I think, and this will actually tie in. What's Hagen's character's name? Miles.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like, so I have one of the moves that I took was preparedness.
Okay.
So I feel like perhaps at some point Miles had given me some little, for mundane purposes, you would call it a candy.
Yeah.
That is some sort of booster type widget, or not widget, but herbal concoction.
Supplement.
Yes.
Yeah. Totally would have.
So, oh boy, this gets ugly.
Good boy.
All right, so I roll plus sharp plus 2. Oh man, the dice like me. I got a 12. So
Nice.
on a 10 plus, I have it here right now.
Love it.
So I pop this, cough drop,
Hmm.
and it somehow boosts my magical energies to fight off this attempt to sever the connection I'm forcing. But I
Love
am
it.
aware that something attempted to mess with that.
Love it. So I think you pull out this, because it's almost like a taffy type thing, and you pop it in, and the moment it hits your mouth, you taste the best dessert you've ever had. What is your favorite dessert?
Oh, I think as a good Scandinavian, perhaps it's an elderberry cobbler, because we're
Love
both
it.
Scandinavian and Southern.
So as you're going to put this thing in your mouth, it just reeks, and you feel like your stomach curdling, and as soon as it pops in your mouth, it is like your grandma's elderberry cobbler. Like it's just your brain is struggling to like understand how these two completely different sensations are now existing in your world. And in this moment, you almost find yourself in this place of just zen, of peace. Like everything just disappears, and you're just in this moment of serene, grandma's table, fresh thing, childhood puppy on the floor smelling of wet dog. And you are just energized, and you are able to rebuff this assault. And at the same time, Norman, you feel as if your abilities are energized in a manner. And so
Alright.
when you move back in to sever the energetic ties between the two, you do so, but also strike the bubble around this individual, rupturing it. And you both hear this screech as this entity turns its attention on both of you,
Oh, I made it, man.
and it starts fading, and you hear it say in your mind, "I'll be back for you." And when it disappears, pop, suddenly this entire universe of nightmares just disappears, and the person in bed sits up, panicking, looking at both of you. You both.
How did
Nightmare. What's going on?
Howdy.
Where-
Well, you just came back from a horrible stand of PTSD magically. There's something sort of magically induced such and such, you know what I'm saying?
But-
Welcome back.
What? You saved
Well,
me.
that's,
saved me.
it's no big problem.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you both. What about my? And they look over and see their friends laying in bed. No.
There ain't nothing we can do about them, partner. I'm so sorry. Oh,
And you
here's
can
the
see
there's
it's sad, like just defeated, like just,
and
just
I'll
empty bag.
put a hand on his shoulder. Now, it's not to mean we can't do nothing at all. We're gonna try and find this creature that done did this, and hopefully by eliminating it and blasting its nether regions all across the wall, we might then free your fellow compatriots of their torment. You know what I'm saying? It's not the end, buddy, just the beginning.
Thank you.
Do you think you could cooperate with us and answer a few questions? I understand it may be hard. I saw what you went through, bud, and that's just not fun.
I they're called nightmare wraiths.
Mm-hmm.
They are the ALI's people. They're ambushing Wayne Enterprises as soon as we go through the dimensional gate. And they trap you in your nightmares, and I've watched friends just wither and die in front of me. Please, you need to stop them, but know that normal weapons don't seem to do anything to them.
All right. And what might have had some more?
We just started transporting into that realm. We don't know. That's why we're losing. That's why we need help. Please.
And you just rest now. We'll do the best we can and figure out this here mess.
Thank you. Norman, I think we're gonna be best friends. Come find me after this. We'll start
I hope to.
We'll start a trauma group together. And with that, falls asleep.
Trauma support group.
Yeah. You're apparently the founder of AA.
MA, Monsters Anonymous.
Hey, that's even better. Love it. Trademarked here first. Property of
Right.
Steve and Steve.
Where people that are victims of monster attacks go to
Bro,
sort out their traumatic
we
experiences.
could probably market that for role players. I bet there are people who have trauma from role-playing campaigns everywhere.
Traumatic roleplay experience.
That would actually be a hell of a
Don't
T-shirt line.
even
Like,
No.
like
My friend's wife made me a shirt that says lawful good, but not lawful nice. So I might be some of that trauma. Anyways, so I think we're going to fade from this scene. You guys have a little bit of time if there's any prep work people want to do. Otherwise, we're just going to jump to the meeting in the tavern.
Intro and outro music by the band 12 Noon. You can email us at meandsteverpg@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter and RPGs. Find us on Facebook at Me and Steve RPG Podcast. On Discord at Me and Steve RPGs. And as always, all of these links are in the show notes. Thank you, and be kind to one another.
How much for the cigar?
Cigar, $20, dog. You gotta go down the street to the store and buy that.